Hello, my name is Tejeswar and I am a student of Alma Better's November 2024 batch, and I am going to present my capstone project, my backend project, the tour planner. And for the tour planner, the requirements were to create APIs using which we will be able to create a tour, update a tour, delete a tour, and also get the tour. And this is my GitHub repo. I have hosted and deployed the project on Render, and for the documentation I have used Stoplight because Swagger was asking me to download or use Swagger Hub, which was paid, so I've used Stoplight. And then the tech stack is, for the backend I've used Node and Express. I've used MongoDB for the database and Mongoose as the ORM, and for the front end I've used HTML and JavaScript and Tailwind for the styling. So if we go to our project, I've just created a simple form for rendering the responses that we get from the backend APIs, and this was created using a Tailwind. So this is the top form using which we will create a tour, and this is the search section using which we can get the tour by ID, and we can also update and delete. So I have added so many validations for sending the data to the backend. Like, we cannot send just useless values where we are supposed to be writing something important. If we just write numbers everywhere, it will send an error message like invalid tour data was provided, and everything is logged properly. We can see that here, that invalid tour data was provided, so we will have to correct it. And when we correct it, we can then send the data, and the tour was created successfully. And so this is the get method which will fetch us all the tours, and when we click on this button, all the tours are fetched, and we can see our latest one at the bottom here. So we are generating a random ID apart from the object ID that MongoDB generates, and we have used JavaScript logic and a date object for that, which is in the code. So if we click on the edit here, we can hit the put method API, and here is a tour ID, and when we try to click something, so we are hitting the put method successfully, and the tour was updated successfully. We are alerted, so all the necessary descriptive messages are provided, and we can also delete by using a delete method, and we can also get a tour by its ID by copying here is the tour. So if we go to the documentation, here is the API documentation, and here are all the routes, the 5 routes for getting all the tours, for getting a tour by its ID, and I've used the standards and the naming conventions for the routes by using versioning and also naming it clean. And this is getting a tour by its ID, and when we enter an ID and we send the API request, we get our tour, and we get responses from the backend for success and for when a tour is not found and for the errors. And here is the post method. Tour validation failed because we did not send anything in the body. So this is the message that we get from the backend. And when a tour is created successfully, we get a 201, which was shown here in this UI. And if we just send wrong or incorrect fields, then we get this 400 request, and for other errors we get a 500 error. And for updating a tour by using the put method, we will have to enter the ID again, and if the value is not provided, in case we enter a wrong ID which does not exist, then we get an error, tour not found. And if we just enter it correctly, we will get a message tour updated successfully. And here same for the delete route. And if we send a wrong request, it will log. It will send a message tour not found, and also will log in the console. So here are the schemas. Now this is the body that we are sending from the front end to the back end. So these are all the details, and these are the required fields without which we cannot create a tour. And this is the MongoDB document. Its structure, the response that we get from the backend. We get the created and updated at stamps, so that we may know when our tour was created and when it was updated. So here is the code, and as we were told to, we are not connecting to the database from the server.js file or app.js, but we are using the respective db.js to connect to database, and the codes are in the respective folders and they are modular. So here in the server.js we are importing all the routes. We have also used middlewares like error handlers, and these error handlers just help us log whenever there is an error. And I've also included a wrong route handler, so that if we manually navigate to a wrong route, then we get an error message. So we have used Cors and Morgan for logging, and based on the environment, whether we are developing or whether we are in the production environment, we are just either serving a h1 with a simple page during development, or the static files that we saw previously. And the static files are served from the public folder in here with the app.js and HTML in it. And this is the routes. So we have used the naming convention, the standard naming convention, and this is the controller. This is for getting the tours. This is for creating the tour by post method, and for put method we have here update, get tours by ID, and deleting a tour using delete method. So in each and every step we are denoting whether it is a success or a failure. We are console logging. So this is it. Thank you.